Welcome back to Better Kansas City. Now, calligraphy is an art form, and I went to meet a local man to learn about calligraphy, and yeah, there was some fancy writing, but I also got a lesson in American history. In his studio office in downtown Mission, Michael Sull works as a master penman, and that title has led him to some extraordinary experiences.
I'll be happy to tell you what I have done, and what I've done is pretty interesting.
Mr. Sull is a master penman for a type of writing called Spencerian script, a uniquely American type of handwriting.
We were colonies of England. Everybody learned English handwriting because that's what they taught. And so the whole idea behind it with the English method of handwriting is uniformity and consistency. So if we were being trained, our goal would be for both of our work to look just like each other and like our teacher. Well, this is America. Platt Rogers Spencer was an American who was born in 1800 in a little town in New York State. And he took an interest in handwriting and in nature. The pebbles that are washed up on the beach are in the shape of ovals. So he figured that was the most natural curved shape. And when the waves follow each other, that sense of even spacing was his model for how letters should be spaced when they're written. The way the sun shines down, those sun rays, that was his idea for straight lines. And he identified 4 features in nature that mankind could use to create a different form of handwriting. And that was curvature, movement, a sense of variability, and contrast. And that is what started the whole idea of a person having an individualized sense of handwriting. If you look at the Declaration of Independence, the real Declaration, you look at the Constitution, the Bill of Rights, and so on and so on, there's slight differences, but they look very, very similar.
Very similar.
And they're written by different people because it's an English script. Spencer changed all that.
The Spencerian script continued to thrive until the invention of the typewriter, when it almost immediately died out. When Michael Sull discovered this form of handwriting in the mid-1970s, he was determined to bring it back.
So I wanted to write the biggest, most comprehensive book on it that had ever been published, and I did. This one here. It took me 5 years to write it. When I was done, I was $100,000 in debt and had to declare bankruptcy. Because of the teaching that I did and because of this book, American penmanship came back, and people refer to me as the guy who saved American penmanship. And there's something special about making your mark like no one else can.
And in a bit, we're going to talk about his work with Oscar. Welcome back to Better Kansas City. Now, the work of master penman Michael Sull earned him several prestigious opportunities, including the recognition from and opportunity to work for a former president.
President Reagan was very much in favor and loved the idea of communicating by hand. I think most people know that. To him, it's part of you that's on the paper that's going to someone else. And the way that I wrote is the way that work has come out of the White House since pretty much we were founded.
The president wanted to create certificates to give out to notable people after he had left office, so he turned to Michael Sull.
I received this phone call. It said, Mr. Sull, this is Peggy Grandy. I'm the chief of staff for former President Reagan. Well, I'm here in Kansas, right? I said, who is this really? She said, no, President Reagan really, really admires your penmanship, and it really looks to him very formal, very beautiful, and yet so American, as if it came from the White House. And he would like to know if you'd be interested in being his personal calligrapher.
Michael Sull helped the former president create the Ronald Reagan Distinguished Service Award. The first award was given to a man with Kansas City ties, Walter Annenberg. After the president presented Mr. Annenberg with the certificate, they took a picture together with the award and sent it to Michael Sull.
I cherish it. It's one of the most meaningful examples of what I've done and significance in my whole career. He appreciated good handwriting and its ability to personally communicate. Peggy Grandy explained to me that he really wanted me to do this because he wanted the recipients to receive a piece that was hand done, special for them, not just printed and filled in.
In addition to the work with the president, he also worked with the Academy Awards, creating the certificates handed out to all nominees.
If you receive an Oscar, you get the statue.
Sure.
But everybody who's nominated gets a certificate. I did them for a couple years, back in the 90s. The last one I did was for the movie Titanic.
His work is also seen locally at the Kansas City Library. He was first contacted in 2004 by Jonathan Kemper, president of the Kansas City Library Board.
His idea was to have a donor mural that would really have significance visually, that would give credit to all of the people and companies. You know, Kansas City basically supported the Kansas City Library.
Yeah.
So it showed that we had a lot of local support. It just didn't come from huge companies that have no ties to Kansas City.
Michael Soul created a beautiful canvas, but to him, it was more than that.
You don't usually get the chance to actually become, in a sense, part of your city's history. Glued onto the wall, and anybody who goes to the library, you can't miss it.
And in just a bit, the pen meets the paper, and you'll see Michael creating artwork out of letters. It's very cool.
Okay, Bill, so for the entire show, you've been talking about this fancy handwriting. When are we actually going to see it?
Well, wait no longer, Belinda. Check out the art of Spencerian script with master penman Michael Soul.
Better Kansas City. Basically, it's colored water that they used to use to do the Declaration of Independence. It's kind of addictive watching it. Please.
So to confirm our appointment, he sent me a handwritten envelope that he has the same Spencerian script on the envelope and on the thank you and confirmation letter as well. So it actually took the post office about 4 days to get it here, even though it was only about a block away from our station.
Well, and it could have taken him that 4 days to just draw it out. I love his lifestyle, and I'm super jealous you got to meet him. But, you know, it's so nice when people actually send you even a thank you card. This guy does it in, you know, this old-time script. That's
exactly,
amazing.
in this Spencerian script. So it was very cool to get to meet him. I want to thank you for joining us today.
Make it a better day.